Welcome to Vermontitude, a collaborative effort between Great Eastern Radio, the Brattleboro Reformer, and BCTV to bring you the stories behind the stories on the topics you want to learn more about. Because there's always more, so there'll always be Vermontitude. Hosted by me, Peter Fish Case. Welcome to Vermontitude. New episodes drop every Tuesday and can be found by going to vermontitude.com, reformer.com, brattleboro.tv, and locally on Comcast Channel 1078. We come to you from our studios at the Innovation Box on Landmark Hill. I'm Peter Fish Case, and each week I cover the topics that are of concern to Windham County and the towns that reside within its border. Joining the program today is Reverend Jeremy Kirk from the First Congregational Church in West Brattleboro, and we're talking teen centers. Welcome.
Thanks, Fish. Thanks for having me, especially this close to town meeting with everything else you got going on.
Oh, yeah. No, happy to do it, man. This is what we're here for. So Club West, tell me a little bit about it. We talked briefly about it last week. You've got a new kind of a teen center going in West Brattleboro. Why? What's the motivation? Give me the skinny.
Well, I grew up going to punk rock shows in church basements in my high school years, but especially in college. And church basements have been a place where kids have been able to play music of all sorts of different kinds. And those have oftentimes been gathering places that teens can kind of have their own culture and put on shows, make art, and build community together. And I thought it was really great that the church that I serve wanted to support the same sort of thing in West Brattleboro. Now, West Brattleboro in particular is important because the 2020 census cited West Brattleboro as the poorest neighborhood in Vermont. Wow. A lot of people are surprised by that. We were surprised by that. But if you actually know the neighborhoods off Route 5, which is so often a vacationer's drive-through route, right, you'll know that there's a lot of homes and people doing lots of great community building work within their communities, but there's also a lot of generational poverty, a lot of substance use issues, and a lot of kids that are just underserved. Right. And partially, I got to say that they're underserved a little bit by our town. So we have amazing resources here in the greater Brattleboro area. We have, the Boys and Girls Clubs, incredible, now goes by the club, Interaction, formerly Youth Services, Teen Street, Brat Rock. These are all amazing organizations that bring kids together for a similar mission of what I'm talking about. But if you live in West Brattleboro and you don't have transportation, it's hard to access those as much as kids that live, let's say, in the Oak Grove neighborhood or up off High Street or other places or have transportation. Right. We do have a great bus system. It's pretty cold to be waiting for that bus, and it doesn't come as frequently as it would in a bigger town. Right. So we wanted to have a place where teens and youth could gather and make what they would like to see in their town. In West Brattleboro, actually sidewalks don't even go all the way up to Tri Park and other neighborhoods up there. Right. So you're either riding your bike in whatever weather conditions all the way down to Brattleboro, or you're most likely staying home.
Sure. Earlier you mentioned Route 5. I think you meant Route 9.
Route 9, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so just for further clarification. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this thing is established. It sounds like it's largely going to be donation and volunteer based. Yeah. Right. Which sort of brings the big question, like, how is this sustainable? Is there work that needs to be done? How does the community help the people watching this? Now, this is predominantly geographically in West Brattleboro, but it serves the entire community as a whole. Right? Yeah. So if somebody doesn't feel comfortable here, or you've got something cool going on a Wednesday night there, then you would go there. But how does the community get involved with helping out?
Yeah, well, so the church that I work for, First Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, we set it up. And it is what we would call a ministry of our church, meaning that it is serving teens in the area is something that we do as a conviction of our faith. However, this is not a pray to play kind of endeavor. This is not about converting people to our religion or making Sundays more crowded, even though we would always love more people to come. This is about serving teens, especially those who are disadvantaged. So we set it up. We set up the area, and although we do want the community to support, the main thing is that the leadership of the teen club is going to be left to teens. We want teens to decide what sort of programming they want. So the best thing that we can do as adults that care about teens, especially those that are underserved, is we can support them materially to get programming that they will determine is what they need.
Right.
And we've set up a few things to get them started, including a monthly game night, concerts, art. We have an artist in residence who just moved in who's going to do free art classes. We have mutual aid shelf. We have a free store, bookstore, thanks to everyone's books. We have all these resources, but we want them to come in and say, this is what we want to do. So the best thing we can do is we can support the project materially.
Okay.
So what we have a GoFundMe that will be launched in a couple days, and we are looking for $12,000 from Southern Vermont community, from local businesses, institutions, and individuals who want to help support these teens and have another amazing teen space where youth and teens can go. And so that will be launched in a few days, and I will put the word out about that.
Right.
But the actual operations of it, it'll be the teens that will decide what sort of community agreements they have and what sort of programming they want to do.
All right. So the $12,000 that you're seeking is going to go towards like infrastructure. Is that?
Yeah, we've already received a couple grants, and we have gotten a chance to take care of some of the boring infrastructure stuff. But we still have some goals that we need to meet regarding just making things very comfortable and as safe as possible for teens with all sorts of different needs to be able to use. But mostly this money will go towards programming. So there's money you got to spend in order to have the programs there for the kids, even if the money comes back in later. Sure. Kids are, of course, never turned away from shows, even though there might be like a suggested donation on the flyer or whatever.
Right.
And so if we are able to get that going, then we will be able to provide more for the kids. So the money goes towards programming. Also, you mentioned volunteers. We would always love volunteers. But volunteers in general, you don't have to do much to be a volunteer for something. And our standards to keep kids safe involve the vetting of all adults that are involved in things like that. And so while we do want people to volunteer, we also want to be able to provide for a very safe environment where kids, parents, and the community can know that the kids are really taken care of. And some of that takes a little bit of money. We would like people to, for example, not have to pay for a background check if they want to come be a volunteer. We'd like to take care of that.
Yeah, no, that does seem reasonable. You brought a poster.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, so this is a poster for a show on Saturday, and it includes bands of almost maybe there are some teenagers in here, but these are folks that people would know from Teen Street and brat rock culture from the last few years. Lovelace is a band that includes, this is a good friend of mine, and I hope I pronounced his name correctly, but Isaac Fritz Egan.
Okay.
And also Echo from Thus Love is in this band Lovelace. So you might not have gotten a chance to see this band live yet, but you will get to see them on the 7th on Saturday. Technicolor, actually, it's a Nate Potter project, and they're using a different name for this show. But Nate Potter, everyone will know from his many bands in Deerfield Valley and Brattleboro. And then Leo Mackler is the stage name for Leo Musso, who is people will know from NEYT fame and lots of different theater projects. And this specific one, it's on the 7th, March 7th, on this Saturday. It's all ages. Mm-hmm. It is a suggested donation of $10. Nobody turned away if they can't do that. The doors open at 6 p.m. and it's a fundraiser for the Interfaith Youth Group's service and learning trip to South Carolina. And then also a third of it will go back to the club itself. Okay. So this is a fundraiser to try to get these kids to be able to go on this service and learning trip, which is going to focus around civil rights education.
All right.
A lot of the kids in that youth group are also our new neighbors, refugee kids.
Yep. And
so a lot of them also are going to South Carolina to see a new part of their new home in the States. And it's just an amazing, motivated group of kids. And currently, this is our second show, and the style of these bands is probably more like what I imagined. But what was so cool is our first show that we did at Club West was in January, and it was actually various a cappella groups from the high school.
Oh, yeah.
And that was all teen led. They said, we want to use the place, we want to rehearse there, and we want to have a concert. And it sold out.
Oh,
and they made, I don't remember how much money they made, but they made, something like $500 ish for their teen-led a cappella groups. So that was Shoulder Narrows, the Alsos, and the Madrigals, the three big a cappella groups. And it was also a who's who of NEYT and Brattleboro theater fame. So I loved that even my plans of the punk rock club in the basement of the church were subverted by the kids taking over and saying, well, we're going to start with a cappella and we're going to do it all ourselves and we're going to sell out. So the teens are really the driving force here.
Nice. All right. So the place is called Club West. It's it's a newish teen center located at the First Congregational Church in West Brattleboro.
Yep. 880 Western Avenue, right in front of Academy School, or some people would know it as next to the fire station in West Brattleboro.
All right. And hours of operation are there?
We have after school programming. We have certain events, and you can find those on social media. But really, when the teens say we want to do something, then they will be planning what sort of the programming is. So you're going to have to stay tuned to find out exactly when it's open and what sort of things are being offered.
All right. The Reverend Jeremy Kirk joined us today here on Vermontitude to talk about the new teen center in West Brattleboro. Thank you for jumping on the program.
Thank you, Peter.